Alright. I have no idea what I'm playing against. Well, now I have an idea of what I'm playing against. I suspect this to be Crucias combo. Mana Tithe is interesting. So is Knight of Autumn. It's not really the normal hand I would want to keep though. Both of these cards feel very nice in the matchup, but I don't think I can warrant doing nothing for the start of the game, so I'm going to get rid of this hand, or that hand. This hand I have some removal, I have some further removal, I have some protection, and I have a way to ramp into the Ajani. I think this is a much more reasonable a keep. Looks like they might have a spike field hazard. Just the or some sort of way to deal 1 damage for 1 red mana. I suspect, I mean, it could be a lightning bolt, but I am aware as the Crucias combo runs the Tree of Predation with the Dollhouse of Horrors to bring it back as a 1/1 with haste, means that they just need 1 damage to win the game from there. Now I could play Invasion here and know what I'm playing up against. This will also make... I think my plan is after the first discard, what I can do is I will exile the tree from their hand, and then they can't discard the tree as it's exiled. So that's going to ruin, actually, their combo. At least I hope. So, and worst comes to worst, if I'm exiling the Dollhouse of Horrors to 7 mana, that still gives me a lot of extra time. And then if they have to play the tree and I exile it, it's just game over on the spot. Well, yeah, more or less on the spot. Okay. So, going to both exile Crucias and look at their hand, I believe. The first thing I'm planning on doing is just looking at the hand for more, well, for complete information. So I'm hoping to hit the Tree of Predation. If I do, it's likely going to give me significant odds to win the game. Unfortunately, they have Dollhouse of Horrors, which is exactly not what we want to see here. So that's unfortunate. Anyway, I will Ossification, removing the Crucias, and I suspect they will use the Play with Fire on the Lotus Cobra, as otherwise I'm going to attack the Invasion of Gobakan for free. Alternatively, they might be valuing the treasure token here. Yeah, and I can see the merit to that as well. Next turn, probably just playing Ajani. Croxa comes down. This is quite a simple discarding of a forest here. It's relevant between snow-covered and normal forest. But both Safekeeping I like, and the Elspeth Conquers Death I really like. Okay, and now they lose that interaction from the graveyard. Now likely they're looking for a land there. So it looks like they hit. If they play land Crucias, they're not doing anything scary with the Dreadhorde Arcanist. So this gives me a good as any moment to drop the Ajani. Picking up a draw, which is nice. Discard, draw. So that wasn't a land they had on top. But likely getting them the land eventually. They aren't really putting on... They're not particularly fast. They have to get to 7 mana now with the Dollhouse of Horrors. And they always need cards to discard with Crucias. So it's not good enough just to play Crucias, you have to have cards to discard as well. And there they have dropped their whole hand, so looks like they have switched to a beatdown game plan. And here I can play the Elspeth Conquers Death, which would involve an uptick of Ajani. I could also play some really big bodies. So I can play Avacyn plus Huatli's Raptor and then keep up the Temio's safekeeping. But I suspect I'm going to be +1ing anyway. Don't really need an additional land. This doesn't have any hits at the moment as all of their things are small. So I shall play the Huatli's Raptor and the Avacyn's Pilgrim. So now I'm threatening an ultimate on the Ajani next turn. I'm not convinced that playing for the ultimate is actually correct. So now I believe that's, what is that? Discard a card, then draw a card. And they don't... Ah, okay, that is clever. So this effectively is draw a card. Nice, because they didn't have a card to discard, and that is not a clause of if you discard a card, then draw. So that's the reason for the Epicure there. Inquisition of Kozilek, 3 or less, this is the only target, so what I will do is I'll protect something. What should I protect? Well, what do they have? They can get Inquisition back again, that is it with the Arcanist. They also have an Unknown in hand, but either way I should be playing this, and I'm going to put it on the Pilgrim, as it means I have an additional blocker, whereas if I put it on the Raptor, that sort of survives the blocking step anyway. Revealing the Elspeth Conquers Death, so now the opponent knows they cannot play Crucius, Titan of Waves. However, playing Croxer is going to be annoying, as that does get around the Elspeth Conquers Death in hand, as this is a value 3 or greater, and this has a value of 2. Gains flying here to whittle down the Ajani. Beast Whisperer is very cool. I could +1 or I could -3. -3 means counter on Huatli's Raptor and some counters on the Avacyn's Pilgrim, and I attack the invasion. I'm a massive fan, as now I have 6 mana afterwards, so 1 from the Pilgrim, which is getting Vigilance until end of turn, plus 5 more to cast Ajani again. This also puts on a lot of pressure, and is likely going to flip the invasion, which is going to grow my board, and it's going to be protection for my board in future. I think just a very, very strong 1-2 punch. This is also going to continuously grow my board. So I can play Beast Whisperer now, but alas, I think playing Ajani is correct. And I'm going to +1, just looking for more action. As soon as I can start casting cards with the Beast Whisperer, I'm going to be very happy, as I'm going to try and attempt to snowball faster than the opponent. here they can go for Croxa, which is likely what they're going for. I now need to make the difficult decision of either choosing to get rid of the Beast Whisperer or Elspeth Conquers Death. Both are very good options. Opponent deciding to try and get rid of Elspeth Conquers Death by using the Inquisition to try and get the Unknown out of the hand. Unfortunately for the opponent, Beast Whisperer is not a hit. So instead they're now going to lose the Arcanist and play Croxa second turn. Okay, I didn't realize I had priority there. Here it is. I believe it's not so simple. Still, it's not so simple. Because I'm not having any targets, and this is going to attack me next turn. But I think it's quite good to have. So we'll keep it. Okay. Let's see what we draw. Oh, well that's quite good. So I'm pretty happy about that one as well. No reason not to play it. I now have something to discard to Croxa. So we'll keep Elspeth Conquers Death in the hand. Definitely want to use the -2 there, keep Ajani alive. Grow the boards. Unfortunately this doesn't quite work yet. So I'm not really growing over the Croxa here. Mountain down. So they both need to cast Crucias, have something to discard, which they don't currently do, and then play Dollhouse of Horrors with the Tree of Predation somehow. Oh, it is in the graveyard. Okay, I missed that step. Opponent's oopsing there, not attacking with the Croxa. I'm not sure if that's incorrect or not, but it does allow me to use the -3 here. Oh, wait a minute. I have a better option, or do I? Do I have a better option? I can play this. Is this an elf? No, but it's still going to be quite good, I think. May as well. It works with all the other proliferate spells in the deck, so I will do this. I'll put a counter on everything. And I will go to combat first. If I can play Elspeth Conquers Death next turn without using the Ymira's Call as a land, that would be pretty good. Okay, I will. Get rid of their Crucias again. And now I may as well play the land as they could attack with Croxa. Well, I need one more land to play Ymira's Call on the front face. How good is that? How quick can my opponent win the game? Well, if they get a land next turn to play Dollhouse of Horrors, they deal 3 damage to finish me off with the Croxa here. However, if they play that next turn, the Dollhouse of Horrors with a land, this only happens next turn. So they really need a land here to play it. Because the turn after I can get something back with Ajani, and then I can go up to 4 life. Either way, all to say, I'm going to choose to cast the, or not cast the Emiria. Emiria's cool, and just play the land side. Quite close, but I also like the prospect of being able to recast Ajani more easily. So the land there is still necessary, or it's important. They do hit the land, so they do have Dollhouse of Horrors now available. They don't have to attack with the Croxa. But I think they might just lose the game, because I have lethal on board if I'm not mistaken. I can make the, yeah, this is exactly lethal. So I just attack with everything. They're dead on board. Yep. As that is now a 6/6, and that's 13. That lines up surprisingly well. It's definitely not a favourable matchup for Ajani. And in combo versus combo, the game plan, as you sort of could see there, shifts a bit more to aggression against other combo decks, as other combo decks are going to be much more fast. Oh, fantastic. Not sure what's going on here. Okay, it has loaded at least. Okay. Now to play on the draw for the second time in a row. This time as opponent lost last game. Lordofatlantis, that is definitely my opponent's name. Anyway, here we're looking at a rather solid hand. The only thing missing here is ramp, so if the Sky Shroud Lookout was, say, Paradise Druid, I'd be very happy with the hand. It's having access to, well, internet. Having access to a turn 3 Ajani with the Varrock means we have a turn 4 ultimate, which still might be slow, especially as we don't have support in our hand at the moment. It's just a bunch of land, forests. We can't even cast Elspeth Conquers Death here. They could, I think I would take the 2-drop from my hand if I were them, as I believe that gets rid of a lot of tempo plays from me. Here I'll take this opportunity while I cannot cast anything to grab a white source with the tapped Fabled Passage. Not really a draw I wanted to get, but it's a draw that I was dealt. Now looking at a 36% chance to draw land every turn according to the tracker, so what's that, 2 in a row? Not too happy, but it is what it is. This start definitely looks much less plausible than last time. I don't really want to play Contagious Varrock here. That just seems incredibly underwhelming. I don't really have other options. Other compelling options, I have Ajani for 3 mana. On 2 loyalty, which is just not where I want to be. But playing a vanilla 3/3 on 3 is not interesting at all. Still more land. Okay, definitely not interested in that. And we're going to be losing the Esper Sentinel in order to keep Ajani alive, provided they don't just use removal. I would not be shocked if they do. Okay, just removal to Ajani straight away. I don't necessarily agree with that, as I believe they could go to combat first at the very least and force me to lose the Esper Sentinel. The Esper Sentinel is still quite relevant. My life total is less relevant in this case, and they do discard the Tree of Perdition. So, this game's already looking like a game over. So I will concede. Alright. So we're really looking, really need some way to stunt the combo. Something like the invasion of Conquerban, like we had in game 1. It's quite strong. Otherwise, the surprise factor of the counterspell could be good. Unfortunately, easy to play around, but it can be good sometimes. Okay. The other thing we could be hoping for is instant speed removal, and for them not to discard it out of our hand, as if we can get instant speed removal, we can try killing the tree in response. But I think the last game we were just dead. Okay, all of the payoff, none of the setup. That's an easy mulligan. Here I have, it's not quite ramp, but I do have the removal on turn 2. I also have Staff of Completion, which can be quite nice. The Payful Life Drawer card can be quite useful, as unless they're primarily trying to beat us down, which we're happy for them to do anyway, we don't mind paying 4. However, they do have Hand Hate this time, and they don't even care for Fateful Absence, which is highly suggestive that they have another source of Hand Hate. Otherwise, I strongly believe that to be a mistake. See what they do. They do have Hand Hate. Not the most sophisticated Hand Hate, but Hand Hate nonetheless. Unfortunately, this way I can't play Ajani on 3. Turn 3, and I can't play it on turn 3 safely. So I must play the Vorak here. Find myself a land, as the proliferation is pointless. And I have at least some protection just in case here. They use burn. I am going to protect my Vorak here, as I need the bodies to keep my Ajani safe. It's also another sneaky way to try and win with the instant speed gain 2 life, but that seems very fragile in this scenario. Welcome, look at my hand, it's full of nothing but land. Still nothing but land. That's quite upsetting, except that this land's quite useful. This can also destroy the reanimated tree of perdition at instant speed, as well as it not being possible to discard. Seems quite good. Wow! Again, track is showing a 36% chance to draw land, and seem to be hitting that draw land button quite a lot of times here. But I'm rather hoping I can get rid of the tree. If I can get rid of the tree and break the combo, I do believe my secondary game plans to be much more not reliable, but well, I suppose reliable. It's like resistive. Oh dear, I cannot think of it. But anyway. Okay, Thrill gone. Elspeth Resplendent looks cool. I can play it, try and hit the ultimate here. I'm not convinced that is correct, but I do like to have the option. Now it doesn't give me an ultimate straight away. I'm just thinking the -3 can find targets that do proliferate. For example, this and this do proliferate. You can also get Ranger Captain of Eos, is not terrible, but I'm going to proliferate instead. This will give me an ultimate where I don't have to do anything except cast spells. I'm looking to attack here. So they don't have the tree in the graveyard yet. Bloodchief's Thirst does get rid of the Elspeth, so I'm out of action. Although that's not necessarily the truest. So I do have Ajani again to recast. However, I could play Ajani here for 1 less mana and try and use the Boseiju who endures. Okay, I'm going to cast the Paradise Druid instead. And my plan is I want to not telegraph the Boseiju in hand. I also want to be able to drop Ajani next turn much more comfortably. So I will sit and allow them to combo if they attempt to. And then try and break the combo with the Boseiju. Here is Dollhouse of Horrors. Will we see the tree be reanimated? It looks like it's about to happen. And we do. Okay, and they're going for it. In response, we're going to destroy the tree, and this now breaks their combo, as this cannot exchange life totals as one of the targets is not in play. So this completely breaks the effect and the targeting, so I stay at 24 life. And now their combo is ruined forever, and all I have to do is cast some Planeswalkers and creature spells until this ticker gets to 10. Even if I keep missing as well, Ajani counts himself as a Planeswalker towards this. So I can tick up to a second -6 and just recast Ajani. Okay. Canker Bloom, and now even worse than just having a creature, I now also have a way to remove the Dollhouse of Horrors, which I'm going to do immediately, as that is their other win condition, as if they just use the Dollhouse of Horrors for various creatures they put into their graveyard, then they can try and attempt to grow a board of XXs effectively, the constructs. And that's their sort of beatdown game plan once their tree has disappeared. That is their backup way to win. Bone Shards, not really relevant, as all we have to do is recast Ajani again. This sticker will go to 8, and even if I draw land for the rest of the game, I'm still going to win. Just recasting Ajani twice wins it from this position. So here what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pay 2 life, because then this will come in with 2 loyalty. I put it to 3 loyalty with the +1 ticker. And then the following turn I can use -3 to put it back to the command zone after it loses all loyalty, and recast it straight away to win the game. The plus side of this is that I also get to keep hold of this heroic intervention, and if I do manage to find a 1 mana or 2 mana creature, that is enough to win the game. Okay, and here I reveal to the opponent that I have a win in hand anyway, but it still goes without saying. I just cast Ajani. Okay, that's fine. So they can get rid of Vivian. However, it doesn't really matter what they do, unless they can deal 1 damage or 2 damage exactly to Ajani. But even I have heroic intervention, so that doesn't even do anything. 1 and 2 drops, they have Bloodchief's Thirst. Again, not really relevant, as I want Ajani to disappear anyway, but doesn't matter really what they go for. I have heroic intervention. Okay. I mean, just to show the line, because of course I could just let Ajani die there and do what I was saying, but because I'm like the villain at the end of the game or story that wants to explain that their master plan, I would like to do it myself. No, I can't do that, but I can do it for this. There we go.